to my channel. Yeah, today is Wednesday and it's a great day outside. Go get some sun. But let's start with greetings. Hello, my name is Daniel. I'll be your host. Your
guy in the chair.
And today, since it's Wednesday, we're gonna go with spooky animation. And this is true campground horror story. So enjoy. Enjoy.
This story happened when I was 16 years old. I was living in Ohio at the time and went camping with my friend in the Zaleski State Forest. Let's call him Mark. It was the first time our parents had allowed us to go camping on our own, and the last. When they dropped us off, we started searching for a spot to set up camp as we were walking through the forest. We were walking for a while and finally found a spot. By this time, the sun was beginning to set. We quickly put up the tent and got a fire going. We cooked hot dogs until it became dark. After we finished eating, we started joking around and trying to scare each other with scary stories. As we started cooking marshmallows, I thought I heard heavy breathing coming from the woods. I thought for a moment I saw a dark figure peek out from behind a tree, but it was too dark to see clearly. I figured it was just my imagination, so Mark and I called it a night and went into our tents to sleep. The next day, we went on a hike over to a nearby lake. As we were hiking, I couldn't help but feel like we were being watched. I kept looking around, but I couldn't find anything out of the ordinary. I told Mark this, but he didn't think anything of it. He didn't take me seriously and just laughed. When we reached the lake, we swam around in the water for a while. As we were swimming, I noticed someone standing behind a tree of a similar size to the figure I had seen the night before. I thought I saw him peek out at me for a moment. I was kind of freaked out by that, but Mark still did not take me seriously. I convinced Mark to investigate the tree with me, but when we looked behind it, there was nothing there. While we were walking back, I heard a rustle in the bushes. I asked Mark if he heard it, and he nodded. We turned around and again saw nothing. Mark thought it was just a wild animal, so we kept walking. Eventually, we heard a stick crack. The noise was coming from the left of us. We looked over in that direction and caught sight of the figure again. He was peeking at me behind a bush. He was looking at me directly with his wide, bloodshot eyes. I screamed and watched him disappear into the forest. Mark looked back at me, but since he didn't see anyone, he figured I was just trying to trick him. Mark was pissed. He yelled that I was ruining his trip. We didn't talk to each other for the rest of the day. When we reached our camp, we went our separate ways. I decided to take a walk into the woods that night. As I was walking, I heard a gruff voice from behind me. Thinking it was Mark, I shouted angrily, "Hey Mark, what are you doing?" I turned behind me, but the person I saw wore a gray jacket, stained work jeans, and a dirty baseball cap. He almost looked like a middle-aged man with gray, wispy hair. He hurried off into the thorn bushes the moment I saw him, but I was wearing shorts and didn't want to cut my legs, so I didn't follow him. I returned to the camp and saw Mark making a fire. He immediately apologized to me, and what I realized next really freaked me out. Mark wasn't wearing a gray jacket, work jeans, or a baseball cap. I didn't tell Mark about what I had seen because I didn't want to get into another fight. The rest of the night was normal, and when it became dark, we returned to our tents for the night. But in the middle of the night, I woke up to a strange noise coming from outside. It sounded like someone walking around. I checked my phone and saw it was 4 a.m. I also heard some gruff breathing like I had heard before. That's when I realized we hadn't put out our campfire. However, I was too nervous to go outside because of the strange noises. That's when I saw the shadow of a man walk by the side of our tent. It looked like he was wearing a baseball cap and a jacket. What happened next, I will never forget. The shadow pulled out what looked to be a knife. Slowly, I heard the zipper begin to open. My heart started beating faster and faster. That's when I saw it. A head poked into the tent with terrible, red, bloodshot eyes. He smiled a wide, creepy smile with yellow teeth that shined. His smile started getting wider and wider. Then he whispered to me in his raspy voice, "I killed your friend, and you'll be next." Just as he raised his knife over me, Mark came and punched him in the side right where his kidney was. Mark was a pretty big guy, so he was able to knock the guy on his side. The next thing I knew, I heard him punching the old man from outside. I was too in shock to remember most of what happened next, but eventually I heard police sirens. After a while, a police officer rushed over to me and told me, "You'll be okay, we've got him." After that, we were too freaked out to stay there, so we called our parents and they drove us home. Even today, I still wonder what would have happened if Mark hadn't been there to save me.
Hey guys, now that's why you always go set up pairs. You got a buddy with you. He's either bigger or smaller, but it doesn't matter. You watch where you go and when you're around. But don't forget, if you liked it, I snapped that time. Comment down below, and then finally subscribe for more and hit the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. Bye.